Hello, this is Signing Naturally, page 310. This is homework 6-1, and I'm going to go all the way through homework 6-4 because it's all related to this. You start off, you want to look at your video for the story Timber, that's under 6-1. And just to understand the story, there's some additional vocabulary that we haven't gone over yet. Some we have, but one new vocabulary, first one on page 610 is taking your hand like this and opening it up to the person in front of you. You can also use two hands. And this is a directional sign, verb agreement. So this sign is literally means to let one know or to inform them about something. So I inform you, I can inform that person, I can inform that person can inform me, inform me again. It can be done with one hand or with two hands. So to inform, narration, tell a tale, a story. These are your hands, your modified 5-hand like this are coming together like that. So they alternate. So they come like that and like that. To work, to have a job, we've done this before. Your A hands, one on top of the other. Make sure they're top this area here, not at the wrist. Well, they can be somewhat at the wrist, but more towards the back of the hand. Tree. I don't know what he's doing with that tree, but this is tree. Your 5-hand on top of your passive, back of your passive hand. Walk, we've done this before, alternating. You've also seen it done with the 3 hands. In that area, location, you're open 5, like that, in this area, wherever you're talking about. To be starved or hungry, your C hand coming down from up here, down like this once, just once. More than once means passionate, horny, so just once. Coffee, we've done this before. I'm on page 311, by the way. Sandwich is your modified B, 5-hand, like this. So one is on top of the other like that, and you're bringing it to your mouth. So sandwich. That's it for new signs. Like I said, I want you to watch the story, Timber, and try to pay attention to these following details. And I'm on to 6-2 now, which is page 312. We're talking about one-person role shift, and the importance of this is when the narrator takes on the character of a person in the story. In this case, it's the lumberjack. So as the narrator takes on, you can read this on page 312, especially the first paragraph under focus, the first full paragraph, talking about the role shift. You would use your eye gaze to take on the person, like he's looking at the tree, or he's getting ready to knock down the tree, or take his hatchet, his axe, and the tree being here. And as you go over to page 313, you can see how he set up the tree with a passive hand like this, and then the axe becomes your inverted modified B hand, and you literally are taking the axe, and you can, as the lumberjack would obviously look at the tree as he's taking the axe to it. So literally the narrator becomes a lumberjack in the story, taking on the role, shifting slightly as the lumberjack does different activities, whether the lumberjack would be walking, talking, as later he talked to the doctor, the tree doctor, remember? So, and that goes into what's happening on page 314, which is 314, which is homework 6-3. We're talking about two-person role shifting. You would turn your head slightly, do your body shift slightly as you take on the different people in the story, whereas the the lumberjack is talking to the doctor. The doctor is already set up here, and he said, I forget what he says in the story, but he's asking basically what's wrong with the tree. And then the doctor would respond. We've already know that the lumberjack is here, so the doctor will respond like he's taking his stethoscope and whatever. So the two-person role shift, the narrator takes on each person in the story, and this can go on to 3-person, 4-person, 5-person, whatever, as long as you set the people up in space that you're talking about. Going on to 6.4, which is the last part of this initial part of Unit 6. Still on the story timber, and we're talking about the importance of story cohesion. And I really want you to pay attention to this. Whereas there's various demarcations in the story as different things are happening. Let's see. On 3:16, he introduces the lumberjack. Notice he's pointing to the lumberjack. He's pointing off to his side here. And the lumberjack going to work. So he points to the lumberjack again. And what is the lumberjack doing? He's got his backpack, his axe, whatever. And then he's going to work. So you're taking on the persona of the person that you're talking about, especially if we're doing the story as first person. So transitions between when things are happening in the story is you raise your eyebrows. Okay. Remember topic comment, the important part of American Sign Language where the eyebrows begin the demarcation of a new topic you're talking about. Topic talking about introduces the forest. See, he's got over there, the forest. Over there, the forest. Topic, I'm talking about what? The forest. Over there, the forest, and where the lumberjack is going to walk to the forest, walking through the forest. And as you go through page 317, you'll see the eyebrow raise, introduce the first tree, introduce the second tree, introduce the last tree. So as the lumberjack is going from tree to tree to tree, so first tree, eyebrows raised, then you're making a comment, first tree, whatever. What's he going to do to the first tree as you find out in the story, as you watch it. So the importance of transitions. Almost like starting a new paragraph is with a transition, or a new set of sentences, or even one sentence, if that one sentence holds one true topic and comment. Engaging the audience, again on 3:16, under story cohesion focus, engaging the audience is so important because you want to make sure the audience is paying attention. I mean, if you're talking about something, are they paying attention? Are they looking at you? So, again, one more reason for the eyebrows raised. Hello, I'm talking about the tree. I'm going to hold that sign momentarily, at least until I get your attention, your eye gaze towards me. You're following me? Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and make my comment. Use of signing space. Remember, with the lumberjack's over here, or the tree's over here, or the second tree is over here, the doctor's over here. Using your signing space, and you'll find this through Unit 6 as we go through the different stories, the Gum story, the Loren Claire story in Gallaudet, especially if you're setting up vast geographic differences with Loren Claire and Thomas Gallaudet. Later on in the unit, we're talking about, Loren Claire being in France, Thomas Gallaudet being in the United States, going over by ship to first England, then France, and then bringing Loren Claire back from France to the United States, Hartford, Connecticut, to be specific. So we've got vast geographic differences, so you want to make sure you set things up in space. France over here, United States over here. So the boat's leaving France, going to the United States, arrives in the United States. So the importance of using your signing space. The ending is oftentimes, can be the punchline. Again, I'm on page 316 under story, cohesion and focus. The ending could be the punchline. It could be a summation of what you've told in the story. But the ending is like, everything hinges upon the ending. You tell the endings. You want to make sure that the person sees you, follows the ending. Again, like I said, transition, so important, raising your eyebrows. Let's see. As you go into ending, page 318, here it says practice the ending. You're going to do this in your final exam expressive when you talk about the particular story that you choose for that. So you practice it, engage the audience, make sure if there's a punchline, if it's funny, it's something, it's hilarious, excuse me. Deaf culture, deaf storytelling, I mean, these stories have been handed down for years. A lot of these stories are over 100 years old. So, I mean, you may think they're corny, whatever, but this is a part of deaf culture. So understand that as you watch these stories. So the ending is so important. And that's basically it. I've given you the vocabulary for watching timbre and for understanding 1- and 2-person role shifts, and also the focus of the story, which is so important. And this is going to be important anytime you talk to anybody in sign language, especially in storytelling. And as we meet each